We're now moving on away from the Group 3 quality soft wheats, and we're now looking at the NABIM Group 4 soft wheats. Now these are predominantly for feed and also for distilling. The first varieties we're looking at are very popular. We have Alchemy, Viscount and Beluga, and between them these three varieties make up a large percentage of the wheat area in Scotland. Starting first with Alchemy, it has a medium rating for distilling. It has a moderate treated yield, but it can be susceptible to brown rust. That's obviously more of a concern in England, but less of an issue further north. Alchemy also has good resistance to Fusarium head blight. Relatively speaking, it is later, and that might cause issues further north. Viscount is currently the benchmark for the distilling market. It's one which the distillers like. It has also yielded very well. Currently on the recommended list it's got 103%, and it did particularly well last year, which was quite a challenging season. It is, however, a variety that is susceptible to sprouting, so in a wet season that could be a challenge. It is, however, relatively earlier ripening compared to Alchemy. Beluga is another variety which is very popular in Scotland, and it has a good rating for distilling. It's a short, stiff-strawed variety, and it does very well when drilled early and also in a second wheat situation. So overall it has an interesting agronomic package. Areas to look out for: it is weaker for mildew and also for brown rust, and in common with Viscount, it is susceptible to sprouting. Horatio is another Group 4 variety which seems to be increasing in its interest. It has a yield of 104, which is higher than Viscount, and it has a medium character. It has a medium rating for distilling. It has resistance to orange wheat blossom midge and also to mildew. And one thing perhaps to look out for, that it has just a moderate straw strength. As far as ripening is concerned, it's very similar to Alchemy, so not the earliest variety. Denman is another soft milling Group 4 variety, which again is good for distilling, but looking at its seed area, hasn't taken off as far as the north is concerned, has resistance to orange wheat blossom midge, and it gives high yields from early sown crops. By that we mean in early September sowings. It only has moderate resistance to lodging. And finally we have Gravitas. Again, the seed area is relatively low, and it has a medium category for distilling. It is, however, classified UKS for wheat for export. And again, it's a variety which has a moderate straw strength and a similar maturity to Alchemy.
So we have 4 new Group 4 feed varieties: Cougar, Revelation, Myriad and Leeds. Cougar and Revelation are notable because they have very good disease resistance. Cougar has a slight susceptibility to eye spot, but otherwise a very clean variety. Revelation also. Both varieties are rather late, so it may be that they be considered less suited to the north. We'll have to see what the market says. Myriad is another variety which has done very well in the north and does have distilling suitability. Its yields are good, and it has a good resistance to yellow rust, to eye spot and orange wheat blossom midge resistance. Leeds is the highest yielding of the Group 4 soft feed varieties and has done very well also in the north. It has good resistance to Fusarium ear blight and has resistance to orange wheat blossom midge. Its yield has also been good both in the UK and in the North region and as a second wheat. So Leeds certainly seems to tick a lot of boxes. In the Group 4 hard varieties now, JB Diego is still one of the most popular varieties. It's done very well in a wide range of situations, and although its yield is a little bit back now on what you would expect from the very highest yielding of these varieties, it does have a good specific weight, good resistance to yellow rust, and it's proved versatile, and it's given very stable performances across a wide range of situations. KWS Santiago is the highest yielding of the Group 4 hard feeds. It doesn't have a particularly good specific weight, and it's rather susceptible to eye spot, but it has given a very good second wheat yield performance, which is probably one of the reasons why it's proved really quite popular.
Duxford is a hard Group 4 feed wheat. At 100% there are now varieties which are yielding 7% more than this. On the positive front, it has good for lodging and also has a good score for sprouting. Grafton is a Group 4 hard feed wheat. It has a yield of 100%, and that compares with the highest yielding now of 107%. But agronomically, though, it produces a good package. It has a short, stiff straw and good resistance to eye spot. It can, however, be susceptible to the rusts. It is a useful variety if you're drilling early. Conqueror has a good yield at 105% for a Group 4 hard feed wheat. You do need to watch the specific weights though. As far as its agronomy is concerned, it's good in a wide range of soil types and also as a second wheat. You do need to watch the lodging. It's also susceptible to mildew, eye spot and Septoria tritici. Relay is a Group 4 hard feed wheat with a yield of 103%. It's got recommendation for the east and west. It's a short strawed, it has good lodging resistance and also good resistance to yellow and brown rust. But one thing to be look out for is it can be susceptible to eye spot. KWS Gator is a Group 4 hard feed wheat. It yields very well in second wheat situations and has a yield of 107% as a second wheat. It's resistant to orange blossom midge, has good resistance to yellow rust, but it can be susceptible to brown rust.
And we end with two new varieties in the Group 4 hard milling list. Both varieties are very high yielding and have done well in the north region. Disease resistance, Dickens is a fairly strong package, good for mildew, for yellow rust and brown rust, only eye spot lets it down. In Kielder, it's susceptible to both mildew and yellow rust, but it does have a very good second wheat performance. The only other thing to watch with KWS Kielder is a specific weight. Specific weight is rather low.